Four great books on the history of Afghanistan. Afghanistan has this reputation as being a land that time forgot, where nothing changed, ungovernable, the graveyard of empires. But that's far from true. And if you want a fantastic narrative history of Afghanistan that challenges some of those assumptions, then I would recommend Game Without Rules by Tamim and Ansary. Afghan history is a constant competition between the accelerator and the brake, before those racing towards the future and those running away from it. And a great place to understand this tension would be Game Without Rules by Tamim and Ansary. But things take a turn in the 1970s. The Afghan monarchy collapses, a communist government comes to power, and they're determined to force through reforms. It goes terribly wrong as a huge backlash leads to the government beginning to collapse. So they send a desperate plea for help to the Soviet Union, who come bowling in 1979, thinking they'll have an easy victory. But Cold War politics intervenes. An opposition to Soviet occupation emerges called the Mujahideen, and the United States of America sees an opportunity to inflict on the Soviet Union the USSR's own version of Vietnam. If you want to understand the 10 years of terrible war the Soviets fought in Afghanistan that devastated the country, then I would read Afghansy by Rodric Braithwaite. In 1989, the Soviet Union withdraws. A terrible civil war rips through Afghan society. And in the late 1990s, the Taliban seize power. They provide shelter for a new organization called Al-Qaeda and its mysterious leader, Osama bin Laden, the mastermind of the 9/11 attacks. The United States of America invades Afghanistan, overthrows the Taliban, and there is a transformative 20-year period of remarkable turmoil and social change. And if you want to read about this, I'd recommend The Afghans by Åsne Seierstad. She explores the lives of people who experienced the fall of the Taliban and their return to power. She looks at three people's lives: one Afghan women's rights activist, one law student, and one Taliban commander. If you want to understand this transformative period in Afghan history, read The Afghans by Åsne Seierstad. In 2021, after 2 decades of war, the United States of America pulls out of Afghanistan. And after so much blood and treasure to build up Afghanistan, to stand on its own, the Afghan state collapses under the relentless advance of the Taliban. To understand why is it that the Taliban were able to seize power so quickly, what they want, how they intend to rule, and what their vision for Afghanistan is, read The Return of the Taliban by Hassan, Abbas. To pick up any of these books, comment book below or click the link on our bio to see our curated reading lists, and let me know some of the best books that you have read on Afghan history. Follow Ancient to Recent for more book reviews and recommendations just like this.